Hello and welcome back. We're now home after the nice walk in the snow. It was very cold. Even my hands are still kind of frozen. And there is no better way, we all know, to get warmed up. That is, or a nice warm soup, and a nice hot tea. And that's actually what we're going to do today, a nice hot tea. A while ago, if you have seen, I've collected some rose hips and also leaves from a blackberry shrub. But today we're going to concentrate ourselves with the rose hips. So here we are back home, and this is what we have collected. So you can see the rose hips look very nice and ripe, and leaves on the blackberry shrubs. And from both of them we're gonna make some nice tea. Rose hips are the fruits of the wild roses. Very, very common around here. And we have around 200 to 300 different kinds of rose hips. Yes, ranging from colors red to orange. Some are elongated, some are round, some fat, some skinny. All of them are edible completely, meaning the skin as well as the seeds. Rose hips are actually very interesting because one rose hip contains 20% more vitamin C than in one orange. So once you walk around and you see a shrub, rose hips, look for one in which the rose hips, by the way they call it also rose head or rose heart, very soft. When they're very soft, then they're very ripe. Now this one is quite soft. When you press it, you see the juice comes out, and that is very tasty. It's sweet. And after you eat this, don't throw it away, keep it, because this can be used for tea. So here we are now with our rose hips. All you have to do is just to rinse them, and then we'll take out the stems. As such. And then we're going to cut them open. And the more you have, of course, the more will be concentrated. And the more darker they are, the more sweeter they are, the better they are. And of course, you're going to use those very sweet ones, the ones that were already mushed. You put them as well, all in the water to boil. So here we go, one pot. So as you can see, the water is already boiling, or about to boil. And we're just going to add our rose hips. And let it boil. So now, as you can see, our rose hip tea is boiling, and what's happening now is we have an infusion. The water will receive all the taste coming from the items that we put inside it. In this case, rose hips. It could be also the tea. It can be herbs. It can be all kind of things. Alright, now we're going to put aside like such, and we'll leave it there for about 5 to 8 minutes. And then you can see already now the color of the water is already pinkish. Very nice color, which is very typical for the rose hip tea. Also be aware how much water you put. You have to know that fresh fruits or fresh leaves are not as concentrated as dried. Therefore, or you put less water or you put more fruits or leaves inside when you make your tea. out of fresh tea or fresh fruits. So 10 minutes have passed. We have our infusion out of our rose hips, fresh rose hips. And now comes the last part. We have our mug we're going to use. We'll have a sieve and we're going to pass everything through it. I had to use a second one as I made a lot of tea. And these beautiful rose hips, I'll put them in as well in the sieve in order to get the maximum out of the flavor. I have to mash them a little bit. And then we're going to pour some tea over it. There we go. That should be it. We have our Rosehip tea. Beautiful color. Beautiful color. And smells also good. And here we are now with our 2 mugs of fresh rosehip tea. One is enough, that's for Lucy, and that one is for me. Smells so fruity. Now that's a difference. Big difference between a fresh rosehip tea and one that's made out of dried rose hips that you can buy at the store. This tastes very fruity because it's fresh. For those who like it, they can add some honey. I personally don't like to have anything sweet. And it's always good to mix it, just to make sure that you have always most of the flavor. And a small tip. This is homemade cranberry jam. And that will be part of our next video, how to make your own homemade cranberry jam. With no sugar, by the way. Very, very tasty. And this enhances the taste of the rosehip. So if you add some inside, like a spoonful, as such, there you go. And all the more enhances the taste of the rosehip. You have to mix it around, get all the taste out of it. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Doesn't get better than that. So tasty and sweet. Fresh rosehip tea. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining. Please subscribe. Take care of yourself. Once again, Happy New Year. And see you soon. Subscribe.